Hello and
Yeah,
welcome to hello and welcome to
out of practice.
MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. Well, we went
You
to
were
the
still you were still a fucking sleep anyway, Jakey Poo, after that fucking race. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. What an absolute snooze fest that race was. Like,
You forgot that Marquez was in the lead.
well,
I
like
mean, it's
I'll be the
amazing that he is. It's amazing that he won the race. I mean, if you think about it,
yeah,
he's
well,
busted up.
half of the fast fellas were fucking taken out. Like, but
Yeah,
anyway, forget that, right? Like, I'm going to be honest, and I think for me this sums up that race right there. Last year it was boring, and this year it was even more boring. And like I saw, like I'll be very honest, right? And this is really bad state of affairs. I watched the race until Marquez pulled about 2 seconds from Acosta. And then I said to myself, Jesus, I wonder who Martin Brundle is interviewing on the grid walk in Monaco. And I've changed the channel and I watched the start proceedings of the Monaco Grand Prix. That just shows like how like I was just like I can sit here and I can watch 12 or 15 laps, do you know what I mean, of boring shite. Do you know what I mean? And it was pure shite. Like there wasn't any real great battles or anything like that. And I was just like going to myself. But then I remember the good news is that we're not going back there.
yeah.
That was the last season or the last race there. So thank be to fuck. Because I wouldn't even watch the race weekend. Yeah, you know, it was that fucking boring. Anyway, what's his name?
The best part of that day was I got on my bike and I had my F4RR MVF4RR tuned, and it turned out phenomenal. And I went on a nice ride afterwards. Weather was perfect. I was in seventh heaven, flying around.
Nice one. Nice
You know?
one. Well, look, that's the main thing. But um, I suppose with the race, like the most exciting part was the first corner when the Skittles happened, right? And I just find it funny. Like I really, really, really genuinely find it funny that the only punishment out of that is a double long lap penalty.
Yeah. Well, what else can you do? Ban him for a race? I mean,
Now, look, I get it. Look, right, there was a prelude to this happening in the Moto 2 race. I don't know if people saw the Moto 2 race, but someone went down, outbraked himself, and it and nearly cleaned out the grid, but the grid weren't there yet. He left off the brakes. What happened with thing you could see it like
all weekend they were going down at turn one.
they were going down turn one, but like
down on the track. I was thinking,
but they're actually putting the blame. Guess where? Guess where? The right height devices.
oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's where the blame is going to. Just so you know. Now, saying that, do I for 1 second believe Jorge Martin did that on purpose? No, it was an accident. It was a mistake. I'm just sure the sanction could have been bigger. Do you know what I mean? It was just like you fucking cleaned out 5 people or whatever it was. Like, do you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
get a 6 second penalty the next race. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's ridiculous. This is not tennis. You're gonna have crashes. You're gonna have people get hurt. That's the way it is. I mean, if you look at the race, the vehicle itself, I mean, you got two wheels going 200 some mile an hour, packed together, elbow to elbow. What the hell do you think is going to happen every once in a while? It's amazing that it doesn't happen 10 times.
True, but I think you have like the punishment and the crime need to fit, right? And causing 6 or 7 seconds of a penalty for taking out 5 riders is a bit light in my honest opinion. I think it should be in a right through the next fucking Grand Prix. Do you know what I mean? Fuck his race up like he fucked the rest of them races up. Do you know what I mean? Again, not intentionally, but
Unintentionally, no.
but it needs to be significant enough that it's a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, if you look at Brno,
Well, if
right,
it's a double ride through, though, that's a significant.
it's
That just shows your race,
a ride through is only on average about 3 seconds, so it's only a
right?
6-second penalty. Not much. Now, when you look at what's going to happen in Brno, right? Brno is a very fast-flowing, smooth track.
Right, which fits the Aprilias.
6 seconds, you could still get on the podium.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A fucking ride through puts a fucking end to that. Like, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
might score some points, but he won't score a fucking podium. Do you know what I mean? No, look, it was just my thinking when I saw it come out, I was a bit, it's a bit light for what you did, really. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm holding my hands up here and saying, I do not believe for 1 second Martin did that on purpose. I just think it's just a bit light. I wonder if Marc Marquez did that. Would that be a double long lap penalty? I don't particularly think so.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, look, saying that, I'm just very thankful we're never going back to this. Well, hopefully never going back to this track again. I have to give something there.
Quartararo is just looking bad, and I know I like Quartararo. Is my favorite rider. I'd say.
I think he's just done.
But bitching and moaning as much as he's doing now, I don't think it's helping the matter.
I think he's just done. I think he's at the stage now where fuck it, and you could see
like make it any better though. I mean,
like but like if you look at it, the Yamaha was struggling all along, and then Jack Miller, to be fair to him and take my hat off to him, Jack Miller rode a fucking absolute blinder on Sunday. Now Jack is from my understanding is most likely out of the paddock this year.
Yeah.
He's off to World Superbikes.
You said that before, though.
Yes, most likely. Like, I don't think that result will be a thing. Now, if he gets another 2 or 3 of those types of results, I think, he could potentially stay in Yamaha. But I don't know. I think Yamaha are going to start bringing in a couple of the Moto 2 rookies. They need speed. So,
they have the need for speed.
Yeah, and obviously Quartararo is gone. I still find it very, 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 very strange. So strange that there's not, besides Bezzecchi, there's not one rider announcement for 27. It just shows there's not one rider announcement for 2027.
Oh, yeah, not yet?
No.
Now you mention it. Yeah, it did. They haven't had any?
No, besides Bezzecchi.
Yeah, Bezzecchi, no Quartararo. I thought Quartararo signed.
No one is like, and this shows me that how MotoGP has changed. Everyone knows where everyone is going. Like, everyone knows that next year, it will be Marquez and Acosta on the Ducatis.
Yeah.
No announcement.
We signed.
Oh, it's probably all signed, sealed, and delivered. Pecco said in an interview there, last or during the weekend, he's like, yes, there will be a change for 2027. Yes, we will change, is his exact quote. But again, I find that very weird because just announce it then. And it shows me that Liberty Media are holding everything in.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone recently, and they were like, yeah, Aprilia got a slap on the wrists for announcing Bezzecchi from Liberty Media. So I think Liberty Media are maybe trying to keep things hyped up. Do you know what I mean? And then
I thought originally that I'm going back a year when they were talking about Liberty coming in. I thought that the premise was that they were going to open up and tell tell a little story, more open, more in touch with fans.
They probably are working on some sort of Drive to Survive program, right?
Yeah.
But again, I suppose my point here is like people ask about videos and news and all of that. The news has more or less stopped. It's like, you know, the way you'd hear things, a lot of things through the rumor mill. You don't really hear those anymore. Do you know what I mean? Now you do get some stuff, right? But like again,
Yeah, the fake media is not even popping up every day.
Well, look, yeah. Well, look, I think
They ran out of lines.
I think some of their stories that they were transcribing some of our fucking podcasts and getting that, but it's kind of funny. And I will get back to making videos. Hopefully, towards the end of the summer, I'll be back to 2 or 3 videos a week. I couldn't even bring myself, though, with the races this weekend. I couldn't even bring myself to do fucking a results video because I was actually that fucking disgusted with how boring it had become. It was for me. It was just it was just the complete opposite to what I believe a MotoGP race or motorbike or the pinnacle of motorsport should be. Like I would have seen better fucking better racing at a fucking mini bike fucking competition. Like, do you know what I mean? But look, as I said,
baggers are doing okay.
The baggers, yeah, look, the baggers are interesting, right? But again, you're there to see the fucking best riders in the world, and they're all riding around in fucking single file, and you're just like, for fuck's sake, do you know what I mean? Let's not waste our time. But anyway, saying that, Jack Miller was absolutely brilliant. I thought, you know, I know he went backwards, and this was then saying that, you know, the crash at the start of it that took out any chance of an actual race. I think, you know, I think in the race, I think Bezzecchi would have probably challenged Mark a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I think the Aprilia had the race pace rather than the quali pace, but like woulda, shoulda, coulda. Yeah, so look, I think it was a difficult race because it was so fucking boring. But other than that, I think, you know, I'm looking forward to Brno in 2 weeks' time. I like Brno for horsepower hill, of course. Yeah, but like Fabio, then I was looking at it in the race, and he was like behind Toprak and Miller, and you're going to yourself like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you know, why is he so far back? And then I think he pitted, like, do you know what I mean? Did he have a problem? I don't know, but Jack Miller finishing 8th, Toprak finishing 11th, and they were genuinely ahead of Quartararo on pace. Now, was that a mechanical? Don't know, but I was very surprised. Who I was really happy to see, though, was Luca Marini getting a good result, 5th place overall, because in all of the talks and all of that we've had of riders moving or whatever, Marini's name hasn't been mentioned. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably on his way out. So
yeah,
hopefully he'll land somewhere. I think he's going to go to Honda, the World Superbike.
They say Honda loves him. They said they call him an engineer and motor combined with a rider.
Yeah, so I think
forbid that CBR 1000 RR needs something. Needs an engineer and an extra couple cylinders in a chassis.
Yeah. It needs some fucking rails to help it go around the corner too. So so I really find it interesting. It will be interesting to see. Like the only thing I suppose I found interesting about Mark and Acosta was that Acosta ain't afraid of Mark. Do you know what I mean? And I think it will be a spicy relationship in the Ducati garage. Do you know what I mean? Because neither of them give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? Neither of them, and they're both always right. So I think that would be a pretty spicy relationship. Pecco, I was glad to see him get the podium because there was no way he was going to get a podium this weekend.
I think Pecco's done. I hate to say it. I think that it's going to end up that Pecco was a bad deal for Aprilia.
I don't know. I don't know. I was looking at Pecco needs a front end that he can trust, and I don't know. Did you see lately in MotoGP they have the ghosting camera? Basically, excuse me. They put two bikes overlaid onto each other, so you can watch Marquez versus Bezzecchi going around the corner, and you can see the strengths and weaknesses of each bike. Do you know what I mean?
No, I didn't see this.
And basically, if you kind of watch it, huh?
I said I didn't see this, but it's a great idea.
But you can look at it and you can see that the Aprilia realistically is like it corners like an inline four. Do you know what I mean? It's wide arcing corners, keeping the speed up, and you can kind of understand then why it doesn't necessarily need the grunt coming out of the corner.
That's why it doesn't have that point and shoot grunt, right?
Exactly. Whereas the Ducati is still now it's not like a 90-degree V. Do you know what I mean? It's a more progressive V, but it is still in a V. So they go into the corner, miss the apex slightly, square the bike, and shoot it out of the corner. So
I was reading where they said that they thought that the Ducati had so much rear grip that it actually has too much rear grip, and it burns. It has to rip it off the corner to get it to go straight. You get what I'm saying?
It burns the fucking rear tires up. So, but look, it's interesting when you see the ghost. I'll see if I can get you a clip from YouTube about it, or I might even do a video of it if I can see it. Although they probably take it down for copyright. But it is an interesting when you're looking at them. Now they were looking at going through the S's in Mugello, right? I think it's down through Casanova Savelli, right? So or they turn down to the right and then through the left. So where they're looking at the flip flop, and if you looked at it then in Bellison Park, right, like it didn't suit the Aprilias. It definitely didn't suit Pecco's riding style. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And you're just like this. Now saying that, right? I think there's only 3 right-hand corners in the whole fucking place, right? We might as well call it the fucking Saxon ring, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, it's going to suit. It's going to suit Marquez, right? So,
but you got to give him kudos for winning the race, all beat up.
True, but
and giving it that much giving it that much beans. When you're
like he did about 5 or 6 really good laps with Acosta, right? And I'll say that. But I'll be honest.
I don't think that kid has a lot of these guys. I don't think they have fear. I don't think they have. It's not a question of being brave. They don't have it in their makeup to have fear. There's a difference. Think about it.
Oh, well, I think they have fear, but I think they've learned to cope with it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can see, I still reckon if that was a normal Brno sort of circuit or a normal circuit, I don't think Mark would have been anywhere near that, right? The fact that it was only 3 corners on the right, you could see that he was still comfortable positioning himself onto the left on the bike, right, for the left-hand turns. Mm-hmm. He wasn't overstretching, and some of the right-hand turns, when you look at them, were the chicanes. Do you know what I mean? So they were quite slow. Which saves him. But if they were fast where you're hanging off that fucking bike, do you know what I mean? His arm would have gone fucking good. I think it was situation. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think he still rode a great race. But saying that, like the sprint, I think he was 9 seconds slower winning the sprint this year than last year.
Mm. Wow.
You know, so I don't think. Like last year, I think he had 7/10 on everyone a lap. Do you know what I mean? So, like, realistically, no one should have been beaten fucking in his postcode. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were. So, But look, you are right. He did a great race and he deserves the kudos for winning the race. Do you know what I mean? I just think if it was a normal circuit, I don't think he would have been. I don't think he would have been.
You're saying if it was a regular circuit and it wasn't like Sachsenring, he would not have done so well.
Yeah, exactly. That's my 2 cents of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so look, I just find it interesting. Obviously, as well, look, he took his 100 Grand Prix race win as well, which is a big milestone. To be fair to him, I think it's only Rossi and Agostini are the only two that's broken that 100 ducks. So, you know, it's been a pretty good weekend all in all for him.
Quartararo looked like he was pushing like there's no tomorrow, like the world ended was about to end.
Well,
and he wasn't going anywhere.
He was pushing, but he was still getting.
The bike was sliding all over the place.
It was, but look, like Toprak and Miller were genuinely ahead of him on pace wise, even, right? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
and like you're going about the moaning. Do you know what I mean? He's like, I keep asking for things from Yamaha. It's got to be a long 6 months, and you're like, well, you're probably out the fucking door. So why are Yamaha going to develop a bike to you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this bike is realistically at the end of its not its development, but we're going to be focusing on the 850 now, right? Because like when you look at it, Brno and the race riders are going to start getting the 850s.
I bet cash money that he's going to regret going to Honda. Honda has not gone anywhere. They made that jump, right? And then it kind of flattened out.
I don't know, though. I prefer to be on a fucking Honda than the Yamaha right now.
yeah, it's kind of that's so many. It's like bad beans and worse beans. You know what I mean? One went nowhere. One made back steps.
True, but look, like again, like put an alien on the Honda that can finish a race. It'll be thereabouts.
I don't think so. I thought that,
so. And I think so. That motherfucking thing.
I'm watching the races go by. I'm waiting for somebody to do something, and it has went flat.
I don't know. I'm looking at that young chap, Diego Moreira. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He can make that fucking thing turn. Like he can make that thing turn, and she's a demon on the brakes. The Honda itself is naturally good on the brakes.
Brakes, yeah.
Like the 850 is going to be interesting. Like I think Buliga is in Brno testing the 850. So we'll be after the Brno Grand Prix, I think they're testing it. Like Marquez will get a hold of it. Buliga will get a hold of it. They obviously won't give it to Pecco for natural reasons because he's going to Aprilia. The Secchi will get a hold of his. Do you know what I mean? There's only like 3 or 4 riders that are going to actually have the actual current riders are going to get to experience the 850. Do you know what I mean? Before we have
say Pecco turns into the old Pecco overnight. If that happens, even Mark is going to be have to bust his ass to make a win. Okay, because their Aprilia is that good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to. I think he got married. He's seen the light. He's seen Jesus.
I think. Well, like again, look, it comes. I suppose it comes to every rider, a point in every rider's career, right, where they have that Jesus Christ moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he has his 3 championships. What does he have left to prove?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, and now I think
he has enough money to keep himself till hell freezes over. You know, invests the money, doesn't piss it away.
He's
not piss money away. He has a regular Hyundai Elantra car. You know what I mean? I think so. He doesn't have anything special. You know what I mean? Nothing.
Yeah. He just likes to ride his bike. And look, I think what's what's Pecco's requirement is a front end bike, right? And we know the Aprilia is a front end bike. The feel from the front end gives you the, and it has to, right? Because like if they're going through the corners significantly faster than the Ducatis, there has to be feel there. Yeah. What I'm not sure about is that how is Pecco going to go into and deal with Bezzecchi? Do you know what I mean? Yes, they're best friends. Do you know what I mean? And they're really good and tight and all of this. But like realistically,
do
you know what I mean? Like your teammate becomes your number one competitor, and like Mark went in there and kicked the doors off him. Now, saying that, look, we've had flashes of the old Pecco when he has his feel, and when they hit the bike in the right setup zone, and no one can stick with him, right? But he just can't find a setup, and even Mark is struggling to find a setup on this year's Ducati. You know, take his injuries out of it, he doesn't look like the Marc Marquez, and did not look like the Marc Marquez of old.
Oh no,
2025 on the 2026 bike. So, you know, and Pecco's been very clear saying that the issues that I had last year, Mark is now suffering them this year. So, like, when you look at the Ducati, like, Pecco still reckons the best bike he ever rode from Ducati is the 22. They made it worse than the 24. Then the 24 was a hybrid of the 22, which was much better than the 23. So the
right, but I still thought the 24, when push comes to shove, was supposed to be the best.
Is definitely the fastest, but the 22 was the best feeling. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And like they've just gone the wrong direction from the DNA since fucking 24. Do you know what I mean? And that's the scary bit for me when we look at 26. It's like how can Ducati even be confident in their engineering and they got so bad? Because like realistically, not even Mark can dominate the championship on a bike that's subpar. You know what I mean? And normally we would say Marquez 9 times out of 10 will always make up the difference. Do you know what I mean? And what we're seeing is regularly he won't now on the Ducati. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. When he's healthy, he can make up the difference. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, but when he is gone, when the mechanics of it, if his body don't work, then you're screwed.
Yeah, but I think even with some of the races, you could see it, like he's not comfortable on the bike. Yes, he's pushing the bike past his limits and all of this, right? And you're playing with fire when you start fucking going along with pushing the bike past its limits. Hello, Honda days, do you remember?
Oh God, yes.
So like you're waiting to get fucking injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, he got to be kicking himself. He did not switch over to Ducati years ago. He wouldn't have had as many. He wouldn't have had the injuries that he has today.
He wouldn't. No. But look, again, some would say, you know,
I know, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but you know.
Yeah. Like he got fond of the money too. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And he did. Now it was never priority number one. But as you're saying, like, you know, if you're getting 25, 26 million.
And I think the old man wanted him to stay on that thing, on the Honda too. He was looking for that.
And as well, like, look, yes,
he did. The grandfather said it, remember? The grandfather said, screw the money this time.
Yeah.
Go with Ducati.
Yeah, look, there is some merit to it as well. You know what I mean? You're trying to bring the bike back to its glory or whatever you want to call it, like, you know what I mean? But sometimes you have to cut your losses and do it. Did he probably wait a little bit too long? He probably did. Did he get grief for turning his back on Honda? He did. You know, but like he turned his back when he left. He turned his back on an awful lot of loyal people to him. Do you know what I mean?
The Honda never had a glory day. It was always the worst bike on the grid.
It was, but it attracted the best riders, which is, you know what I mean. And unfortunately, that
The cash, there was one would attracted the riders.
yeah, of course, you know what I mean.
It was
And
the
look,
payday bike.
yeah, but if you were brave enough in your
Yeah, if you figure like I can live through it and still be able to spend the money,
and get it,
afterwards.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? If you have enough if you've enough confidence in your ability to make that gap and get paid 25 million, of course, why would
Right.
you? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like it's very weird. And look, I suppose at um, it's nothing really like the yeah, it's nothing really like things are going on really. Iker Lecuona, I was interesting, all right, to see how he got on, and there was a lot of people raised eyebrows to why he got the call up for the weekend rather than Bouliga. And for me, it makes sense that he didn't get or Bouliga didn't get the call up, right? Why would you like? You're going to have Bouliga in 2 weeks' time testing the 850, right? Why would you fill his head with the Michelin nonsense
Right.
and the thing? So I think that's
And he's
where
winning the motor, and he's winning the World Superbike title, right? He's
he is.
ahead.
But look
So why
Lecuona,
risk that by a crash with the you know?
yeah. But then look, Lecuona isn't doing too bad in World Superbikes either. You know what I mean? He is keeping Bouliga a little bit at it. But for me, when I saw it, I wasn't really too shocked that it was Lecuona that got the nod over Bouliga. Do you know what I mean? For this, and for me, that was the simple explanation for it is that, you know, with that test coming up, it's really important that that they keep Bouliga on the Pirelli tires, so he doesn't lose any understanding of what is going to happen.
What about Acosta? You know, on paper, if a Marchand came down and was looking at this thing on paper, right? He wouldn't look that great. He would look good, but he hasn't won a race yet.
So what you're saying, Jake, is he's very good, but he doesn't shine like a diamond in a goat's ass.
Yeah, see, that's the worst luck. You know what I mean?
He does, but you know something? I think when he wins, he's going to turn into a machine. Do you know what I mean?
I was thinking that too. Once you get that, it's like in boxing, the same thing. When a guy wins a title, they say he becomes, another notch ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. Like, and then look, the other side of the coin, you know, deservedly so, because like he's doing things on the KTM that no other KTM rider are doing, right?
Yeah, he's lonely out there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly. But like let's be fair, he was out front of Marquez, right?
Right.
You knew it, I knew it, the dog and the cats in the fucking street knew it, that this is only going to last about 10 laps and Marquez is going to come past them. We all knew what was going to fucking happen. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
All right. And you could see that, okay, he went on the soft tire. We knew that was going to run out. Do you know what I mean? And it did. Do you know what I mean? And then he just pootled away because he had built the gap with Marquez. He just pootled his way home. Do you know what I mean? So it comes as no major surprise to me. Do you know what I mean?
God.
Yeah, right.
You're driving me nuts.
um.
Turn it off.
Yeah. So, yeah. Look, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was
Right.
interesting, but when you look at it, you knew what was going to happen. You knew what was going to happen, really. I was impressed with Gura also. But then saying that, he must be looking at Yamaha and the standings and going, what the fuck did I do? Why did I do this? Now, look, saying that a Japanese bike is always a dream come true. Do you know what I mean? But like, it is, when I look at it,
I can remember back 30, 40 years, right? And hearing this about the Japanese rider that's going to take on the world, who's going to win, and blah blah blah, and it just never happens. Talk about bad luck.
yeah,
Some races just aren't good at physical things.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, though.
their reflexes weren't as good or something. They're just not.
I
They
don't
don't
know.
make
Look,
good fighters. They're good at math.
I think I is a really good rider. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not sure why he put himself on the Yamaha. Do you know what I mean? He's in
Yeah.
Trackhouse. They love him. Are they going to give him maybe what he wants right now? I don't maybe think so. But then on the other side of the coin, he's young and he has time. Do you know what I mean? Learn your trade, and then go. Like, you don't necessarily need to have the best equipment right here, right now, sort of thing. And it feels that he's maybe done a Cal Crutchlow, and like, I need a factory bike. I'll take any factory bike. And if you remember, when Cal went to Ducati, he lasted 1 year on a factory bike. And he's like, I don't want the fucking factory bike. So yes, look, it's one of those things, I guess. You just have to be careful what you wish for, as they say.
I wonder what they're going to do with Leopold in Moto 2, where they caught him opening up the boxes and fiddling with the engines for the past 6 months.
The Leopard team, is it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. How do you get around that? That's a buster. You know what I mean? What do you say? You've lost. We discontinue all your races.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of heavy financial penalty. But then saying that, you just don't know anymore. Like how do they call it? The fact Liberty will make this really, really, really unpredictable, because you don't know what's actually going to happen anymore with them. Do you know what I mean? Where old man Dorna kind of knew what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? If he liked you, go under the carpet and you'd be grand. Do you know what I mean?
6 months. 6 months. How did they figure out that something was going on for 6 months? I think it would either raise its head earlier, its head at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. So apparently, look, going from it, they've rejected the stewards' findings that has led to a 6-race disqualification. So they are kicked out of the racing for six races. Penalty was handed down after 2 of their engines were found to have had their seals tampered with. Technical delegation determining that they had been unauthorized opening of the units. Fernandez, who was third in the standings, was disqualified from the first 6 races of the season, with only his Italian Grand Prix result of 4th officially recorded. The team have appealed the decision, but had it rejected on Friday hearing, and failing to provide a robust explanation to why the seals have appeared to be tampered with. Leopard has now issued an official statement denying any wrongdoing, claiming the team considered that there's no clear evidence. It acknowledges that the decision of the stewards panel concerning engine number 810 and 811, resulting in amendment of the rule.
team disagrees. The repair will operate in full compliance. Also noted, furthermore, these engines were subject to essential technical checks and to be found. Yeah, so I think they'd probably get away with it.
Hey,
yeah, I think.
off the subject a bit, but I'm sure we have lawyers watching the site. How in the world is BMW getting away with when you buy a BMW, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shows that you had the bike inspected in the computer, and every year it comes back and says, take the bike to the service center. It needs to be serviced. And it takes up the whole dashboard. Like you can't see around it. Can't see the speed you're going, how much gas is in it, anything, right? You're forcing me to take this thing back to the dealer. Not even talking about the safety factor if you can't see how fast you're going or if you have any gas in it. Okay.
Oh, it comes up and completely blocks the screen, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Never heard of it, but yeah.
How the hell do you get it? How do you get that? How the hell do you pull that off?
Wait till they start restricting your riding because you haven't brought it to the service center. You know, and like we see an awful lot of these
limp modes.
But we see an awful lot of these. I don't know. Do you watch any or listen to any shows on YouTube? But at the moment, there's this fella called Matt Armstrong, and he's rebuilding a Bugatti. But Bugatti said that they would bring it back to Mulsanne and redo it for this fella Alex something in Florida. And they started off first at 1.8 million to rebuild it, and then they started getting some publicity around it. And then Bugatti said, "Look, bring it back. We'll actually do it for 600,000, but it has to come back there." So they gave him the bird, and they said, "No, we'll do it, and we'll get things printed." And
is this a car or a bike?
It's a car, right?
Okay.
But Bugatti will not sell them any parts for the car.
Yeah, I've heard about doing that. Ferrari did that.
But no, Ferrari will send you parts, except they won't sell you structural, or they wouldn't before sell you structural parts. But this, like, you couldn't even get a fucking indicator bulb off Bugatti, right? They're like, that's how fucking bad it is. So there's a big YouTube phenomenon now following this car rebuild and stuff like this. So, you know, it's becoming more and more tied down, let's just call it. Like, I remember the days, right, where, and I know I'm talking about the good old days, right, where I could take an engine out of the bike, put it into a crate, ship it over to a buddy of mine in the UK. Real old man, old school way of doing things, right? Used to work in Aprilia MotoGP, in the 250s, right, in the 500 days and that. And you know, you would ring him and you say, "Mike, can you get me 70, 75 horsepower out of that engine?" And he'd like, yeah. And the engine would come back to you, right? And this is no shit, Charlotte, right? It would come back to you with the running instructions on it. And then down the bottom of it, he would turn around and he'd say, 79 horsepower at the rear wheel, smiley face, right? So you would follow the heat cycle, or the heating and the running sequence and want this, right? And then you bring the bike to the dyno, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you might get 78, 79, 80 brake horsepower, but it would be within the fucking 1 or 2 horsepower of the thing. But that was pure old school. There was no fucking CNC machines. There was no this, there was no that, there was no the other. This was your man, like, and he was in and he was honing out stuff, you know, and he was like, this guy now used to grind the gears in your gearbox, not grind, but file the gears in your gearbox, right? So that you would have a faster gear change because you get rid of all the, like, it's smooth. It was just pure old school. But nowadays, right, you need to go something comes up on your bike, right? The engine goes into fucking limp mode, right? You look like a fucking, a Honda 50s and monkey bikes are fucking passing you on the fucking straightaways, right? And there you are sitting on top of a fucking 1000cc bucket, right? And you find somewhere where you can stop and maybe have a look around, and then you have to fucking plug it in to find out what's wrong with it. And you're just like, oh my God almighty. And then you take out one sensor just to have a look and test it, and then sure it won't work because all sensors aren't fucking connected. And you're just like, are you for fucking real? Like, so it's so frustrating. Whereas, like, even now, trying to trick systems into the tuning has got far more complicated. You know what I mean? You used to just send your ECU over.
Yeah.
And it come back, and now it's like, oh well, this ECU's there needs to talk to this and this and this. So you end up sending over 500-600 fucking unit or euros worth of parts, and you're just like, are you for fucking real? But look, it is what it is. It's the way that we're going.
I was happy as a pig in shit because my MV, the F4RR, came back cooler. It was running cooler and 215 horsepower. You can't beat that one sick.
Oh no, you can't. But like again,
like I had everybody. I mean, you got that. That's 2012, and it was titanium. Everything's forged titanium in the truck and all the engine parts. You know.
True, but I suppose
cryogenics in the engine. Nobody has cryogenics in their engine.
But I suppose where I'm kind of going with this is right. Your bike is that bike is still somewhat old school, right? Do you know what I mean?
As the old school transmission.
What we're going to have in years to come, right? For me, as simple as this is that there's going to be a SIM card in the fucking thing, right? And they're not fucking happy with you flying down the road at 200 miles an hour on your fucking bike, and they'll cut you off.
Not me anymore. I've sworn off speed because my skills are going to shit. You know, I have neuropathy in my hands and my feet.
Yeah, so. But I suppose up where I am kind of on it is like I'm just like.
By the way, I'm proud of you. I am proud of you that you're looking to get an Aprilia or a Ducati. You're smartening up.
Well, like I passed the BMW place most days, but I just can't bring myself to buy or look at any further the BM. Like for example, if I buy a Ducati, I'm going to buy a V4R. I'm not going to buy just the V4, right? If I buy an Aprilia, I'm going to buy something
V4S. Right?
No, I'm going to go with the full R. I'm going to go with the 1000cc rather than.
That's a lot of expense for you know what I mean.
I know, but look, if you're going to fucking do it at my stage of life, you might as well do the one that you want. Right?
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that.
But and if I was buying the Aprilia, I would definitely buy the factory and whatnot, right?
Right.
But I keep looking at a BMW M1 and I just can't fall in love with the look of it. It looks like someone, like a fucking 70s porn star, you know what I mean? With the big fucking mustache on the front of it. And I'm just going to go, like the rest of the bike I like, but I'm just like, I can't look at it. I keep going like, bow, chicka, wow, wow, Joe, like an old fucking porn star coming down the road. So I just can't.
You're coming from an R6 background, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the Aprilia would be phenomenal for you, or I keep
She's
saying
very heavy though.
The F3RR from MV.
Yeah,
it's smaller and has the horsepower, and they're making it into a 190, 109, a 900.
Yeah, well, like that's kind of like where I was going with the Ducati. I was looking at something small and light and powerful compared to the S. Do you know what I mean? But like. If I'm honest, I will lean towards Ducati, but then look the other side of this.
And I looked at the Norton, which I thought, wow, that would be great for you. But you know what? Because you don't like the fins, right? You want it. It's still smooth looking. It doesn't have any no wings or anything like that. And it's a pretty bike. And it's a good deal at their base. Their base bike is a good price. It's less than a Honda. It's less than a Kawasaki. It's less than, man, the Japanese bikes are expensive as shit now. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that costs more than a Japanese bike is a Ducati, and they're close.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, look. Don't even talk about the price of fucking bikes over here. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you guys, you got it. They just rape you in Ireland.
Yeah.
The taxes, Jesus.
Yeah. It's crazy the amount that they can charge for them. Absolutely crazy. But look, it is what it is. Like it will be some time before I buy it. But like saying that, I will buy. If I'm going to buy a bike, I will be buying one that I really, really want. I'm at that stage of my life now that let's not go for the one I don't really want. Like just looking here now, just for shits and giggles, right? 2020 Ducati. She looks brand new. She's a V4R.
Mm-hmm.
She's a V4R, yeah. In Ireland. Yeah. How much? 2020 now. It's 6 years old. No miles on it. How
What was
much?
it originally? Like it was like 28 originally. So I say 20, no, 22.
Go again.
23?
Go again.
26?
Go again.
Jesus Christ. 30. Can't be more than 30.
Well, you might as well call it 30. 29,950.
Jesus
30 grand.
Christ.
Yeah.
And how much is a ZX6 by the way, or ZX10?
I don't know. I'll have a look there. I'm just trying to have a look there now, right? Another one then. 2020, 32,000 kilometers, just a standard V4R or V4, 23.9.
23.9? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, 30,000 miles in it though.
Oh shit. Well,
yeah. Oh shit is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy over here. And what you want? ZX10R is it?
ZX10R, yeah.
Uh, 2016 one, 8.5.
I was going to say how much is the new one.
I'm just seeing if I can find a new one because I don't know if there are any quack shops around here.
I can tell you here, right? And our prices are decent. You know, I mean, they're not outrageous. It's 29,000.
ZX10R Ninja. Choice of colors 23,995. 24 grand.
And that's weird.
Yeah. Well, I see if I can
Not
change
cheap. I mean, the Norton costs that much, right?
Just gonna see.
Christ, my brutality cost 18 for God's sake.
Yeah.
That was a really good deal.
I'm just seeing if I can find a Ducati V4R price in Ireland. V4R. Yeah, it doesn't give you doesn't give a price. Crazy though, just fucking crazy. But look, I suppose it is what it is. What it is, you know what I mean?
Oh no, why I say that? Guess what? Again, New Year, right? New Year's coming. New Year's new season started. My BMW, I didn't have it inspected yet, right? Boom, flashes, can't see shit. right?
Mhm.
Can't use dash. It's done. You have to take it to the dealer. Now they know me. They know I have 7 other bikes, right? So they said, I can't bring it in right now. I said, what's the matter? He goes, I got so many warranties on the Japanese bikes for their from breaking and
Right.
from recalls. I got 300 bikes backed up.
Fuck.
He goes, the goddamn things are coming apart like a bad watch. I said, I heard that, but I would think they'd had it fixed by now after all the bad rep. He said, nope, they just keep pumping them. They keep pumping them out, brand new ones. So I didn't want you to keep drinking the Japanese punch. I call it now.
I suppose the bikes that I have, Jake, I'm very lucky. The bikes that I have.
Well, no, it's a whole different time period.
It is, and like I'm well aware of that. You know what I mean, especially in the realm of it. You know what I mean. Like obviously my bikes that I have would have all been off over to Mike, and the engines would have been rebuilt anyway. You know what I mean. So they're all kind of, how would I say, they're a known entity. Whereas when you're looking at, and this is kind of what I was kind of alluding to a while ago, is that the new type bikes as well, even Japanese and Italian, like there's one Ducati dealer in Ireland, one, right? And that's 300 miles away each way. Do you know what I mean? So it's 600 mile round trip. So like, there's an awful lot of expense owning a Ducati. So, whereas, like as I said, there's.
By the way, they cost the same. When you'll buy a Ducati, and you'll find that everywhere I know of. Okay, the servicing for a Japanese bike or a European bike is all the same. It's a flat fee.
It is, and it's not, Jake. Right? Because if you go away and you buy a new bike, right, over here, they will tie your warranty to authorized dealers only, right? So if you're buying a Kawasaki, just say here, you can find an authorized dealer very, very easy and very, very quickly. If you're buying a Ducati, to find an authorized dealer, there's only fucking one in the fucking land.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So in a way, no, it doesn't, because they're not going to come collect your bike. You're bringing your bike fucking there, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't really think you're going to ride a V4R 300 kilometers or 300 miles straight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're renting a van, you're bringing it up there, you're waiting either the day or you're waiting a fucking couple of days, and there's just to keep the warranty intact. Do you know what I mean? Because here, I don't know what it's like over there, but you buy the bike, your warranty is
here it's like 25 cents a mile. The have them pick the bike up and drop it off.
Oh no, it'd be far, far, far more. Like you'd be talking 400 or 500 quid just to have them come get your bike and bring it back to you. Easy.
Okay, well, ours is like half of that.
Yeah. It makes it not worth it. You know what I mean? So, but look, I will get a Ducati, and I probably will go something a couple of years old, but I'll probably just get the engine rebuilt anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? You're going to find that you're not going to have the engine rebuilt as long as you're changing the oil and the filter.
No, but what I mean is, like, throw away when you buy something secondhand, if it has maybe 10, 15,000 kilometers on it, you don't really know what's been done to it. Do you know what I mean? So the first thing that we normally do over here is that we get the engine rebuilt, or we drive it on, get used to it, and then decide what changes we want made to it. You know what I mean? So like, when you're talking to the fella that's going to build the tune for you, you can say, listen, look, I'm not so worried about top end, but she definitely needs something at the bottom. Do you know what I mean? And he could build that tune in for you. Although I
feel bad for the dealers. Like when they like he was talking to me, and there's a couple of them. They were saying what people don't realize is like the Kawasaki, the ZX6. Remember they had him torqued? It was over torqued.
Yeah.
The crank. And then they told him, well, back it off and then retorque it again. right?
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's not gonna. That's bullshit. It's not gonna hold together. And the dealer knows this, right? But the manufacturer's telling them to do it this way. That's what they'll pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So you're stuck when the thing you bring it in and you do what they say, torque it down and then unloosen it and then torque it down to correct. But by now that the damage is done and it comes apart again. They come back to the dealer. They don't come back to the Kawasaki.
Yeah, I get you. No, see, like for me, like what I was going to allude to there is like I saw a friend of mine. What does he have? It is Japanese. Is it an R? Is it the triple R? I think it could be the triple R, or it's a standard double R. And no, it's about 3 years old. Yeah, it's about 3 years old, but he recently sent his bike over to have the engine done, and he couldn't decide on his engine mapping, right? And what actually he ended up doing was your man sent him back this kit that he put in like a data logger, but your man in England could connect remotely to the bike, right, and do the what's called over-the-air update.
Yeah, I had that done.
And it was, but like your man was out riding, he pulled in and he stopped, and he literally told your man the changes that he wanted to make, right? Mm-hmm. Your man made the changes, or live updated to the bike over the air, not even to. And your man was like, "Oh yeah, that's happy." So he built his tune while he was riding.
What? No, I didn't have that done.
Yeah,
he's riding the bike, and he's telling him that it's going through the air into the bike.
So basically, he rode his bike, right? He stopped for a cup of coffee. He rang your man, and he said, "Yeah, look, I'm not so happy here. I'm not so happy there. It's kind of a little bit peaky, or it's not so peaky. Can you look at this?" And your man adjusted the file for the tune, sent it wirelessly to the bike, and it downloaded to the bike and updated.
Okay. Yes, or people or members out there, has anybody ever heard of this happening? I've had it where they went from one dealer to the next. One was in England and one was in Pennsylvania, and transferred across the lines. You know, the phone line.
Well, like it's all done through cloud, right? Which is fine. So there's a SIM card receiver in your man's data logger that he applied to the bike when he got the bike back. But it belonged to your man, so your man now has to post it back to the UK. But he couldn't decide what he has done with it. But basically, you can do that two-way telemetry sort of thing.
Huh. Now, when he did it, I actually thought, it ran a little hot. That's what I thought, but then it was smoother than it is now. But now it's running cooler, so I'm happy. I love cool engines. It's supposed to be a little grumbly at 27 miles an hour for some reason. It has this grumble at from 25 to 27. There's 2 mile an hour and it goes away. Strangest thing I've heard.
Yeah. Look, I suppose you're never ever going to get a perfect tune, right?
No, there is. I don't think there is such a thing.
And it's kind of buying the perfect leather suit too. Do you know what I mean? You're either going to build this, buy it for the race tuck, and it's perfect in the racing position, or you're going to buy it for the relaxed fit, where she's going to be flapping in the race position. So even if you try and go a hybrid version of it, it's never going to be perfect. And the tunes are still the same like that. But I think anyway, on that bombshell, I think we will wrap it up there for this week. We will definitely try and come back again next week, because next week we'll be coming into a race week. Hopefully there will be some more news. Brno is going to be that race week's track, so it's going to be a good one. So on that bombshell, we will see you next week.
Hasta la vista, folks.